allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, tonight's meeting will be audio recorded and video recorded by Mr. Hall. This time we'd like to take public comment.
Mickey Lyman, Garfield Street, on Memorial Day, which is May 26th at 9 o'clock. I'd like to invite everybody to the Memorial Day service.
What time was that meeting?
9 o'clock
9 o'clock?
on Monday the 26th.
And you said you did get your money, the
Yes, and
funds
we
for
got our flags. Thank you very much.
Was there any speakers?
Yeah, we have a speaker and the honor guard are going to be here again. It's nice living beside the guy in charge of it.
Yes.
Any other,
Larry Smith, 201 Northern Avenue. I was at the meeting in November, asked about opening the alley beside my house there. I was wondering if there's been any decision made on that, what we can do.
go over, take a look at that. I over it. You said November. No. I was at that. But what he wants to do, I don't see any problem with it. I mean, you want to go over and take a look at it? You know where it's at.
What day you off, Larry, or what time would be good?
I get home shortly after about 10 after 2.
Oh,
If
okay.
you let me know what day you're coming, I'll be there.
Okay. Well, we'll get something, I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other public comment? Mike?
Yes, I would like to thank you, President Mineski, and I also know Cliff and Nancy and any other council member for working on the Butler Petroleum project with getting that filled in, having them come up and clean it up the last time. And at the last meeting, I did not acknowledge you or anybody on council for that, and I do appreciate it because that was, filled in, well, not filled in, but cleaned out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but it was to the point that when you called me, like I said, I went over the next day and looked at it. It was to the point where if we would have got a good heavy rain, there was no doubt that was going to back up and cause problems for you and even on up, because right there in front of the carousel, that's an opening right there.
yes.
And it could have very well backed up through there, come up over there, and went into the carousel too.
And also that traffic lights still turning too quickly on Butler Road as you're going into Katanning, right there by Armstrong Loan. As you're gonna make a left onto Arthur Street. You're lucky to, one vehicle's lucky to get through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you, Eddie, can you call PennDOT?
Well,
and
see
see
if Rick has the number, I'll get the
And one last thing, I would like to thank Nancy and Paula for coming to my place of business and looking at the trees. And I know they're looking into it, and maybe they'll have some roof over it. And that's it.
And thank you. Yes, sir.
Larry Edwards from Grace Brethren Church. So I'd like to thank someone, but don't know who to thank. Over a year ago, we started a process of getting the church and the school to clean up Pine Hill Road. And we were scheduled to do that tomorrow. We finally got approved last month to do that, but someone's been cleaning it up. So thankfully, made my job easier for tomorrow, but I don't know who's doing it. But
I saw, but I don't know.
but someone's doing it, thank you.
He lives down over the other side of town.
Oh, really? We just got through last month.
I was walking up there one day and he was coming back tonight.
Any other public comments?
I'm
Yes.
just here about the sign, if you're going to talk about it, you have any new information.
Other than Andrew's tried, how many times to call
I
that
tried
attorney?
to contact the attorney from the
South
South
Union.
Union Township, that was the ordinance that you had given us, they had
Yeah.
done down there. No call back from him, so, I don't
Called
know whether
like
I
three
could write him
times?
a letter or what, but
You called,
I
contacted
called the boys.
twice. He's never called back.
I'll see if I can get another number or find out for you soon.
Yeah, if you can go through Mercadante, is that his
Yeah.
last name? Maybe if he connects us, I don't know, I don't know if it's,
Well, that's
I mean,
who
I
got
introduced
the-
myself, so.
Who I got the information from, so, Tony? Yeah, I called him one Sunday evening, and he gave me that information. And then I forwarded it on to, Andrew. I did, submit a right to know request for all the permit, applications and everything for the signs and everything, which I gave to Andrew. He probably knows more, I guess they're all on the up and up.
Yeah. I mean, he did everything correctly, Oliver, I mean, according to what we received from the state.
Okay.
As far as permitting and everything like
I
that.
do know the one down, on 28. The fellow down there said that his papers were forged. And he took them, I went with him, we went to Senator Powell's office. And you could actually see where it was copied and the signature was not with the paper. And they told him his work weren't up and up. So they told him to get the letters from his township members that they did not sign it. And that he would be taking their sign up. So,
If he forged those ones, did he?
that's why we were wondering, you know.
He received, what signature did he forge?
One of the township members' signature was on it, and he said he didn't sign it.
You mean the Oliver? Like Oliver, you're talking about Oliver's,
Yes, I saw the papers, they were copies, there was a police report filed,
There's a letter.
and
Chase, basically.
Yeah.
approved.
that's why I wanted ours checked, to
Well-
make sure they were on the up and up.
There is a letter from when Chase McClister was the solicitor at that point, and there is a letter from him basically saying that Borough Council, that it didn't violate any ordinance,
Okay.
and council knew about it, and they approved it, and they didn't have a problem with it.
Okay, I'm wondering if
It
there
says
are
right here.
too many signs there, and if the right of way is right.
What was that again? There's
If
two,
there are too many signs in that area, I don't know how we find that out. The brightness of the signs, if that's legal. But I'm calling everybody on that board, that's public information.
Mhm.
And I'm calling them and I'm telling them that their light is in our neighborhood. Ruth knows, she lives behind me, her house. I stand at my kitchen window and her house lights up like a Christmas tree every night. But I am calling everybody on that board and telling them that what's happening. So I'm hoping that's legal. I think I have the right to do that. I'm not harassing anybody, I'm just telling them that your advertising is in my bedroom windows and in our living rooms and in our yards. So,
Well, you know, part of the problem here is like Andrew said, this attorney, you know, we've been trying to get information on what they did down there in South Union Township. They don't return calls. I called a lady, she's the head of the right-of-way division for PennDOT Harrisburg. I called her once to explain to her what was going on. She said she'd get back with me. She never, I waited a week, she didn't. I called her back again, left a message, never got back. I've called her 3 times now, and she's never returned my call. So I don't know whether they want to get involved in it or what, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at least they could have the courtesy to call back and say, well, there's nothing we can do, or
Right.
at least give me an answer.
Okay, well, I am in touch with the Pittsburgh News Station, and they are very interested in our story. So they wanted a video, we made a video and sent them, so I don't know where we're going to go from there. So,
I mean, we're trying.
okay, well, I appreciate that. That's more than I got before, so thank you.
Any other public comment? All right, if not, move on to the motion to accept the minutes.
I have a correction to the minutes. On page 2, the third from the last sentence, where it says, "He asked Mayor Sabisky to look into the amount of material needed and cost." It's about the fence over here. I volunteered to do that, but in the meantime, Councilman Henry Moores took the ball when he got the estimates.
On that note, welcome back. I know what it's like to be off. Big deal.
Is that all here? All right, I need a motion to accept the minutes, previous minutes.
I'd like to make sure we accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
Second? Nancy, second. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Unanimously.
All right, mayor's report.
I don't have a police report. Officer called off sick today, but I've been to a couple meetings. I'd like to talk about one was Tuesday, April 22nd. It was in the commissioner's meeting room, courthouse. It's a hazardous mitigation plan. Our EMA Director, Jim Morris, he was there also. I brought up the subject about the petroleum property over there. And they suggested that possibly the council would want to make that a flood zone. So in the future, nobody could build on that property again. But I'm also concerned, summer vacations coming up here. That's getting pretty bad over there. I'm afraid possibly some kids will have to crawl down in there. God forbid they get seriously injured.
Did you see they did rip it off?
Yeah, but you know kids. And that's deep, and that's deep down there, and that's big.
Is there any reason to arrange
I know, I forget the woman's name that I had talked to, or I finally got a hold of after sending the letter, whenever they tore it down. I can call her. She talked to me last time, so.
Yeah, you're the only one that's
That's
been able
what I'm
to talk to her, so you and Vez.
I think it's the same one, I can't remember her name, I
Yeah.
talked to when that was filled up, I called her.
Yeah, she called me immediately after when she received the letter, and they were moving forward with getting it torn down, so I can
Yeah, I don't know,
call her about that.
you might want to call DEP too, and get them involved in it, as far as being a hazard. And I personally, I don't know who would want to buy that property, because that's going to be a continuing problem that
Yeah.
underneath there, I don't know how you could build on it. I mean,
And another meeting, I got invited, it was held at the same place, the commissioners' meeting room at the courthouse. It was about this Citizen Bridge situation down here. They took all different kinds of studies of how traffic would be if they did this or did that. And they figured that the present situation now is the most convenient. So,
question on that, Jim. Did anybody mention, just through the grapevine here, some people said that if that bridge would have been shut down completely,
probably would done.
they could have done it half the time? I mean, personally myself, if they could have done it half the time, I'd have sooner had them shut it down and do it in, 3 months instead of 6 months.
They probably need access for emergency vehicles.
No, they don't need that. And back in '85, when they replaced the whole deck, the bridge
Yeah.
was completely shut down.
For-
And they went around, and I ran ambulance and fire truck, and it was maybe a 5-minute, 8-minute more call. And nobody on this side of the river really complained then. But there's more people now, more people just,
What was the reasoning that they shut it down or only did half?
In '85?
No, now, like, why are they only doing half and?
For emergency.
Well, to go back then, they kept an ambulance here
we
in
had
our
an ambulance
station.
here.
And, yeah, so we covered this side of the bridge and
Well, they
and they covered the other
Actually, they
side.
could have done that again.
Yeah,
So actually,
There's so many pros and cons.
yeah.
it was a meeting, but their minds made up, this is the way it's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be.
just, yeah.
Really. I didn't see any reason for having the meeting, but I went. And the other thing is, I got this on my email, it's from James Nowak. He is the Pennsylvania State Mayors Association president. There's some bills being considered for communities like our communities, for our police to use radar. And they're requesting that we fill out a resolution and give it to our Mr. White and Jeff Powell. I don't know how you guys want to feel about it. That's the literature I passed out.
What would be the purpose of radar in our community? We don't have any long highway. I'm just curious. Like, is it
More
something
accurate,
that we
more
can
accurate,
discuss?
more
Do
accurate.
we get a lot of speeding tickets?
Well,
Do we?
one of the things you gotta look at too is, what's a radar gun cost versus VASCAR? You know, is it gonna be worth purchasing a radar gun, just like you said, for all the tickets that are wrote, is all what it's used?
I could see it
Cost
being-
effective.
Radar usually
I mean,
takes 2 persons.
we can send a letter, a resolution letter sent, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to have a radar gun here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see
It's a waste of time.
anything, what it actually, draft resolution.
Yeah, it's on the last page.
Yeah, I don't see no problem with passing the resolution.
That's all I have. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to do it next meeting? When do they have to have? Did they say when they had to have this, Jim?
What's the date?
Well, I got it in April, so really didn't say when they needed it.
There's no expiration date on it. And then hospital when it's gonna be brought up.
Committee reports, street committee. What, can
I
I
have
have?
a question on the minutes from on page 3, I guess it'd be the second paragraph. Henry did ask me if they did maintain a log book. And I thought they did. Yeah, that was just me, I guess, assuming. And I asked Rick, and he said they don't keep a log book of what they do. Well, I guess I'd like to bring up the council that they do keep a log book of what they do these days. I think they should.
You said Rick said no, but they do?
No,
No, they don't.
They don't.
he would like to have them keep a log.
See, I thought they did,
Mhm.
but they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I asked him, I said, well, do you keep a log book? And then he said no. So whenever I'm trying to read this, I don't have my glasses on because my cataract's not, but I'm getting my new reading glasses. And, I thought they were keeping a book, but they're not. So that was my mistake. But, I think they should.
Absolutely.
They should keep, if they cut grass for 4 hours and haul brush for 4 hours or do whatever, it should be marked down.
Not only that, is if there's any road work or any pipes or drains that they repair or they do, that should be logged on, knowing what has been done in years to
Right.
come. Then this section here was replaced in
Right,
2014,
right.
you know.
Maybe we want to implement it.
I'd like to do it as soon as possible.
We can get a logbook,
Yeah, just
probably
get,
out at One World.
if somebody can
Oh,
find a
sure.
logbook or,
They have everything.
One like this even,
Yeah.
Keep one in each truck or,
Charlie has a way to find one that might have the dates down or something, book with, without the dates.
Yeah.
That would have, date book.
You want to put that in form of a motion?
Yes, I do. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
Okay.
Seconded.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Anything else, the streets?
Well, we haven't got to that project yet because of the rain, so,
That's the one on Thompson Store.
yeah, Thompson's. So, the rain has slowed us down there on that. But other than that, I'm trying to keep them busy and,
I'll bring this up now since we're in the street committees. I'm not gonna wait till I finish business. We applied for liquid fuels money. You listening? Nancy? So we applied for, Carly and I filled out the application and applied for $8,700 liquid fuel monies from the county, which we didn't get. I got a nice letter thanking us for applying for it.
you said we did or
We
did not?
didn't get it.
Did not. Why
No.
is that?
And, well, they have $250,000 that they get from the state for liquid fuels. And they had requests for $400,000 for different municipalities. But when I read the article in the paper, what come to my mind was, personally myself, I think this was a waste of money. They gave $3,684 to Hovey, I guess it's township, to install limestone on Robinson Road. How long is that limestone gonna last? If it lasts a year, then it's gone.
How do they choose who they give and who they don't?
They have like a rating scale
like those side points, I think.
So it's not by how soon or how late you get it in, it just goes up?
Right, but it does, they do take, one of the things they take into consideration is, like, we got $31,000 last year. So
Yeah.
they take into consideration how frequently you get it.
Okay.
Another thing that I heard was that, since the water authority got a lot of money from, like, some sort of grant or whatever through the planning department, I guess that's why Wkcm wasn't like top priority for, not like we were not top priority, but
Well,
that played it.
I can understand that, but it just seems to me that, you know, $3,600, $3,700 to put limestone on the road is a waste of liquid fuels money, because after the winter, they plow the road, it ain't gonna be there
What did we say ours was going to be used for?
to fix the Nixon Avenue, the area that was washed out. Because, you know, we wrote it up that, you know, there's a possibility that the road could possibly be closed and people couldn't exit or enter, emergency vehicles couldn't get in or out. But that's what happened with that.
I was suggesting for in the future, how about applying for a grant to start paving our alleys up there? I see Fort City got money.
Well, yeah, they got it through this, I think they got it through the same thing here.
Paving an alley down there.
I thought they were on here, but I guess not.
People fly through my alley as it is, and if it's paved, they're gonna be going 40, 50 mile an hour.
Yeah, but our men put a lot of time in putting limestone down.
Oh, I agree. I
Yeah, it's
understand
just-
that.
I mean, you put a lot of money in limestone, and
And it don't last. Especially the alleys that have a incline, because they're always getting washed out.
Is there certain ways to put that down? Like, could you tamp it to get it to hold tight, or is there a certain way that?
We tried everything. They rolled it down and
we rolled it.
There's no way to get a sub base in there.
They even went tar and chips with the alleys and that.
Well, they were supposed to keep them up, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was before I got on. I remember that there was some type of grant or something that they had. I'm not sure exactly, but it was like a 3-year project, and they only did one phase of it, and it didn't go through. I'm not sure. Do you remember anything about that?
I can't remember
But it's something like-
But you know, they tarred and chipped them, and I can remember that they were supposed to come back or something, but nothing ever happened. And like I said, the guys that did it, I mean, they just did it, you know, real quick and wham, bam.
And it
bang,
didn't
bam.
last.
You know, it was gone. They were in and out, and
I'm not opposed to that. I'm just saying that my alley goes to the bar, and it's a straight shot. I mean, they fly.
Well, I know past councils, their plan was, they always told me that we were gonna do tar and chip one alley a month. And-
year.
Or a year. And,
well, I know
Is
they
that when
talked
you was on
about,
council?
no,
No, prior to that, before?
well, I know whenever they said about naming
Yeah.
them, about, because they said, but you could get liquid fuels for naming them, and then nothing ever happened. And
Well, I guess we just move forward.
Do what we can do.
Yeah.
all right, you got anything else, Ed?
No, that's it. Just trying to keep them busy.
You may want to consider a speed bump,
Okay.
if it's that back on Ruben,
A speed bump.
Where?
Ready, guys?
going through your alley at 50.
Oh,
Alley.
Do Shade Tree. Shade Tree.
Do things I got.
All right, Shade Tree Committee?
Okay. We had 2 requests in April to go on site and check out and investigate the tree situation. Paul and I both went on site to both properties on Saturday, April 26th. The first one that we visited was Robert and Susan Bartow at 601 North Crescent Drive. There are 3 trees involved, but they are all on his property, so he can pretty much do what he wants to do.
Yep.
Paula took pictures, so we do have record of the trees. I started a notebook here with each case and pictures to go along. And I gave him a list of permissible trees, just as suggestions to him. And I did ask that he either remove the stumps completely or at least make them ground level. And he said he was already planning on having the stumps, ground up. So there shouldn't be any problem on that property. The second case was Michael Hawley at Illusions 2, 363 Butler Road. And he has 2 pine trees on the bank behind Illusions. So we accessed Dixon Street to observe the trees. And in measuring it, pretty much proves that they are on Michael's property, although he did not plant the trees, but he's now responsible for them. But we also took a lot of pictures up there. And in inspecting it, we observed there is a water drainage problem up there on Nixon.
Yeah, we know that's what we applied that
No.
money for.
I know, we just heard that. But anyways, we did put our decision on hold for Michael to remove those trees until we did maybe contact the Public Works Department. We wanted to discuss that with them to see if there was anything in the near future as to curbs or a way of diverting that drainage, because it's just running across Nixon and down that hillside and it's all getting eroded. It's all going to go. You can see where the road is eroded all along the edge. The trees are healthy, but the base of them is precarious because of this, deterioration of this bank. So we just felt that we should perhaps have Cliff go up with us now and look at them. He's the other member of our committee and he wasn't available on Saturday, to kind of see what his ideas are about the trees and either tell us something different or verify what we think about the trees. There's an awful lot of brush there, and there is a stream that runs there at the bottom of that bank. Mike did say perhaps they would plant something in place of that, such as like maybe crown vetch, something. If you take away all these trees, the hillsides really are going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if you could get some water finders or, like crown vetch or something to secure that base, that bank or whatever, if and when those trees are removed, then that could be a possibility.
To get back to that water problem you said up
Yeah.
there, when we were up there with Mike Malik, looking at that, I suggested about putting storm sewer in, putting it in the creek, and he more or less advised that if you do, you gotta go through DEP, and it's a lot of problems. Discharging
And the
water.
fact that the trees are on Mike's property, he probably can go ahead and do what he wants to do. But
Yeah.
we were just trying to look at the overall picture there and work together and come up with the right solution. And we did observe those steps, which are actually on Mel's property. And
Is
they,
it Mel's?
No,
Or
it's-
it's the
Butler Patrol.
oh, Butler Petroleum,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's-
say
we
wrong.
live-
It's
that-
Butler
that's,
Petroleum's property.
Children do use those. I've talked to a
Well-
couple of family members up there the same day we was up there, and
They just closed that, they put up no trespassing signs, we have no bus stop entry.
well, Patty, I was talking to Nancy that, now that that light is addressed, sorry for going in on this, now that that light is all down there, maybe, I can talk to somebody with the school board
Well,
district and,
if you can, that would be nice, because I know my neighbor has several kids there, and there are some kids that catch the bus.
right, and I
and,
talked to Nancy and I said that I think
Yeah.
now that that light is up and running, that I'm gonna see what I
But
can
not-
do before
Yeah, the
next.
school board
We
before
can
said
try.
no, but I'm sure she has a call into the school, not the school board,
Yeah.
the administration building. And as of today, she hadn't heard anything. but they don't know, they have no access to the bus stop now.
Oh, and is it Valley Lines that goes through there?
I'm not real sure.
I think it is.
Well, it's probably Valley Lines. It was either Shriver's Valley Lines
But I
or.
think she called them and then they said we'll call the school.
Yeah, you have to call the school district.
Administration building, so
Yeah.
as of yet, there's no resolution to that problem.
I'm surprised Butler Petroleum let that go as long as they did with those
Well,
steps.
everybody.
Because that's a
I used to get the
liability
school bus
issue.
there
I
50
mean,
years ago.
One of those kids come down those steps, fall and breaks their leg.
There's a big, like,
Yeah.
big hole in the top of the steps that they
Yeah.
can fall right into.
They're
Did you say males walk them off?
No, not now.
No, not the steps. They just put no trespassing around their property of where that pole is.
Oh.
And around the pole. They're empty lots.
It kind of looks to me like just driving past being on the highway. It looks like they may have cleared the brush along either side of the steps to kind of expose them more.
I think the residents
I
do
don't
that up
imagine,
there.
well, it looked different than it did last Saturday anyways, whoever did what.
All right,
But I
anything
don't
else in
think
the
they
shade
did.
tree?
Yes, one more thing. We're proposing that a form letter be composed to be used for each shade tree case. It'll include the name and location and the request by the property owner, and then the committees addressing the request, findings, decisions, and confirming completion of each case, and the form to be signed by the Shade Tree Commission members. And then one copy will go to the property owner, and one will be kept on record for the shade tree.
That way we have record also of what is
Yeah.
done.
So we'd like to submit this to Carly if she would prepare that for us and make a supply of copies to have on hand. Okay. If that's permissible.
I think you did. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Good job.
Police committee.
Henry?
What did you say?
Police committee.
I have nothing on the police committee.
Personnel?
Right now, we're going to go ahead here in the next week or so and have a meeting with the employees and get a few things straightened out and talk to them and find out if they have read the personnel book, which we had handed out a couple of months ago to them. And if they have any questions about it and so forth, we will sit down and hash them out.
Got a question. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
There's a separate one for the police.
Pardon me?
Yeah, there's a separate one for the police, but that's the general one.
Do you have a copy that I could have?
But should the police fall under this also? Because I questioned them that they never seen this.
I don't know where I have mine right now.
I see. Well, yeah, I would assume that they all should all fall.
I asked Officer Hagan, he's not familiar with this.
Do you need extra copies?
No, I'm asking,
Well, they should fall under that, yes.
Do you have copies, Henry?
Huh?
Do you have copies?
I don't know where mine is right.
Oh,
there's different things in here.
Oh, here it is.
Jim, didn't Officer Hagan review all the present policy book and then
Pardon
he
me?
added to and amended last year? Didn't Officer Hagan review all that? Current
That's,
policy book.
This right here?
That, yeah,
Yeah,
and then
that's
he
a
add
different
to
one.
and subtract.
He said there's stuff and stuff in here that's never been, that it never gone in there.
Basically, police procedures, where this is like personnel,
Personnel and borough
what
procedure,
we expect
which we expect
of
of
our
our.
employees.
well, let's do it this way. Get 2 copies made, do one in Gehagen and one here.
You can meet with him separately. If you,
Alright. Anything else, Henry?
yes,
This is our council meeting, Wkcm council meeting.
No, I'm in a little bit of a bind.
Okay, well, we're having a meeting
Okay,
right now.
thank you.
Do you wanna go see what's up with
No, stop. He'll be back.
all right, I have something here which has been going on now for 2 or 3 years. The old council was notified of this problem after the installation of the hockey rink. The residents down there have sent letters, numerous letters to council, numerous letters here to the fire department. As Jim had stated in the beginning, he was going to look into the pricing of it, but since I had time on my hands, I went ahead and contacted 3 fence installers, which we have to go ahead and put a fence down the alley and down Residential Street, because the kids that are playing in there, either they use a hockey puck or a good hard tennis ball, and have been hitting the cars directly across First Street for residential. And then there's a $70,000 mobile home sitting in a person's yard, which has some dents in it from slap shots being careened in that direction. I feel I have 3 prices here from American Fence, Armstrong Fence, and I had one here from what I call Place Fence out in Worthington. They all run, American Fence runs $3,500, Armstrong Fence runs $3,900, but Placek didn't listen to my instructions that I gave to him for an 8-foot high fence. He gave me a price on a 10-foot high at $4,900.86. He was to get back to me a week and a half ago. I called out there today, line was busy, nobody was there. But I think it would behoove us to either go half with the fire department or go ahead and take it out of the recreational fund that put the playground in over here and get these fences up. There will be a walk-in gate on Residential Street that they'll be able to get in, like it is right now where that little offset is. The old fence that's 4 feet high will remain intact. To take it out, it's gonna be $300 and some just in the labor to
Will
get
they
rid of it.
attach it to that?
No, they're
It'll
gonna
go-
set the posts in back of
Is
it.
8 foot and it's high, 8 foot high enough?
Yes, 8 foot will be high enough.
Okay.
Because you get it up after 8 feet, it's gonna be careening way out past anything.
Should be.
But this is gonna have to be done because we have some irate neighbors.
I
They're blaming the
suggested
fire
this
hall, the fire hall
couple years
says,
ago.
well,
I mean,
we gotta work with the borough and vice versa.
I suggested that fence several years ago, so I agree.
But if we wanna take action on this, I would say, let's leave Mr. Placek out of it and go with either Armstrong Fence, which is down in Brackenridge, Natrona Heights, or American Fence, which is
Did you check
down in
pen
Banneker.
fencing?
Huh?
Pen fencing?
I,
There's pen fencings in Indiana, and then there's one on Route 8.
well, I didn't go that far out. I knew of these 2.
Is that with installation?
This is with installation.
And how long are they? Like,
One side on residential is like 75 feet, and the other one is 100 and some feet long. It'll encompass an L shape right around the hockey rink where it's at right now. We're not worried about the football side, that's all grass, nobody's ever in there. Or slap shots going up towards the playground here, it's not gonna carry that far, nobody's ever down there. But the primary objective right now is that L shape right at the corner
That'll
by
protect
Alice
the
Young's
residential
and
area.
John's. Huh?
That'll protect the residential.
Yeah, that'll protect the residential. It'll protect that $70,000
I don't blame you a bit.
RV it sits there.
Has the fire hall, agreed to paying
I
half?
have no idea. I haven't, this is the first time I've really been out. I have no idea if they discussed it. Somebody says they have discussed it. I haven't been able to get a hold of the secretary or anything to see if,
So
Yeah, we have discussed it.
are they willing to go in half?
I'm pretty much sure, but I don't want to say yes. We have a meeting this Thursday, so we can at least bring that to them. Yeah, they were just worried about the
I
price.
can't see us picking up the whole cost. I made that comment last week, I think
And
they
they know
say
that.
go 50/50 with
Is the money still available in the grant?
no, granted, there's I'll call it a slush fund.
For,
A family here, who they're all deceased, contributes to this borough for recreational maintenance and so on.
how much is in that fund? Is there always money in there, or will it?
There's
be-
always money, there is money
Every
in there
year,
right now.
every year,
There is-
money gets added to it?
Every year that I've been here, in the years prior, we've gotten like a donation every
And we can use all of it at one time, or can it be used?
Yeah.
It can be used all at one time. When they done this, when my daughter applied for the grants to get the playground, which is in there now, they used up a good bit of it as a contingency fund. So it can be used all at once.
I think if we find out if the fire hall will donate half of it, I don't see a problem. I mean, I'm okay with that, that's me.
That's what I want to know, because Eddie and I will be both at the meeting.
What I'd like to do is make a motion that we accept the lowest bid for the fencing contingent on fire department going half.
And then just go with it then.
That way, it's done. If they decide they want half, the motion's made, passed, get it going.
And get it done as soon
Yeah.
as possible.
Okay,
You know, as soon as,
Well-
Yes, I'm not gonna get stuck. That's why I'm making the motion. Contingent on the fire department.
yeah, but that's this
Payment.
Thursday, and if they say yes.
Yes.
I'm just saying, just go with it.
Yeah.
okay, the lowest bid is American Fence at $3,500.
Did they specify what type of fence? Like, is
It's a
it?
galvanized fence, the same as over there.
Okay.
They were up here.
Okay.
Where are they located, Henry?
They're down, best way I can say, well, you wouldn't even remember. There used to be an old skating rink down there in Brackenridge, Trenton, down there. There used to be a food supplier down there also. But they're right along Allegheny, Freeport Road.
Okay.
I can picture them, but I can tell you exactly what it is.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing I have,
Well,
go ahead.
You want to finish that motion first?
Make a
Finish
motion.
that
Go ahead,
one?
make it.
yeah, I'd like to make a motion that,
You can't make it, somebody else will.
go ahead.
Well, I'll make a motion that we go with the
American
35,
Fence.
American fencing, the lowest bid, and contingent or whatever to the fire hall, going half. And once they say they're going half, we get it done. Henry can call, and we get it done.
Through that fund.
Yeah, through that one fund. And we get it done.
Okay, any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Yeah, second.
Oh, sorry, second. I need a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
All right. Carol,
Yes.
this is continuing to see the water line on Hill Street. Was that brought up at the water meeting tonight?
Yes, they actually have fixed 2 breaks on Hill Street or Hill Avenue, whichever. They fixed 2 leaks on Hill Avenue or Hill Street, whichever it is. They were actually gonna go back up there tonight after the water authority meeting. Ken brought his listening devices to see if they could hear anything else going on, but they have been up there. They fixed 2 so far.
Okay.
So I don't know if the problem is completely remedied, but we are working towards that.
Okay, because I was up there this morning and talked with the workers,
Okay?
and they found that the one main shutoff valve was leaking faster than,
That was not mentioned at the water authority meeting.
say, a large animal could desiccate out on the street. That's the way he put it. I mean, it was just running, when they uncovered it, it was running full force. Right out through the stem and everything because it was deteriorated.
Are you talking the main halfway down
On the main
hill?
line.
Okay.
Uh,
Those details were not provided at the water authority meeting.
And the workers said that there was another major break somewhere on up the line. That's probably what they were working on. But they needed a listening device
That
so they
Ken,
could hear where it was at.
that
because-
Ken Howard brought his listening device, that's where he was
Yeah,
at.
because the 2 yards, the 2 houses there, they said when they walked in them, they sunk in up to their ankles. That's how.
Oh, yeah, I
wet.
was up there after the last council meeting to talk to those people.
But,
And, yeah, it's bad. I was told at the water authority meeting that they found 2 leaks and they fixed those, and Ken was headed back up there tonight. But I
okay.
came down here first, and then I'm headed back up there because I want to see how that all works.
All right. And I'd just like to
I'd
say.
just like to comment on that.
So-
You know, this is another problem up there that has been going on for a couple years anyhow, this wire running
Yes.
up there. And the residents come time and time again to the borough, or to the council meetings and, you know, wanted us to do something. Well, you know, finally something got done, you know. We had Rick call Scotty, get water tests done, and I want to thank Bob Lasias, because I called him